Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I just want to do a nonsense video right now. It's totally nonsense. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but I just want to talk about it. There's multi dimensions to Shirtless Guy, some unexpected. I watch some shows sometimes in my off time, and right now one of the shows I'm watching is called Numbers. It says the letter E is actually the number three because the three reverse looks like an E. And I was watching season 2, episode 7, called Convergence. And the guy that's supposed to be a great mathematician in the show, his character's name was Charlie Epps. And he said some interesting things I like to talk about, and then relate it to what I was saying, and then say something. He was talking about the math of the number of days and months in a year, like I was doing on one of my videos, and someone said, "Well, what does it matter?" or something. Well, I didn't really answer that, but he was talking about some similar thing in this episode, um, and he was saying that people in ancient times, they used to try to say that a year would have 360 days, which left 5 days extra, which he then said was made up for either by having 1 month have an extra 5 days, which is possible, but then he said it's also was sometimes made up by having 8 months. An extra month every 8 years, and I thought, wait a minute, the mistake is there, because if you had an extra month every 8 years, and the months were, let's say, he didn't say how they were divided, but let's say you took the 360 days and divided it into 12 months. Each month would have 30 days. So you need 30 days to make up periodically. And since the amount that each year was off is 5 days, you would need an extra 30-day month every 6 days. I mean, every 6 years, not every 8 years. Like he said 8 years. Actually, if you had it every 6 years, 6 times 5 is 30, and it would work out. But he said every 8 years, and that would make no sense unless, of course, you divided the 360 days into 9 months, because then every 9 months for 360 days a year would make each month 40 days. And then therefore, yes, you could have every 8 years an extra 5 days, because 8 times 5 is 40. But I highly doubt that anybody in the ancient world, or even anybody, would divide the 360 day years into 9 months of 40 days, because that's the only way that it would work when he said that every 8 years they'd have an extra month. That would imply the only way that would work is if the months were 40 days long and there were 9 of them. To make 9 times 40 is 36 days in a year. So either he goofed because somebody in the writers goofed, or maybe the writers were just throwing us a joke, or maybe they thought nobody would get it or care. But like I said, if there's 360 days in a year and you made 12 months, each month would have 30 days. So you would be off. You would have to make up 30 days. The 5 extra days you would need would be if you had to make a 30-day month happen. Again, to make up that, you would need an extra 30-day month every 6 years, because 6 times 5 is 30, and that would work out. I thought that was funny, because I didn't really listen much after. I mean, I still listened a little, but that the fact that they made that mistake kind of threw me from even. I didn't pay attention for a second, because I thought, well, they're not even writing this right. But no, I love the show, though. It's a great show. I'm just saying, there's a different side of me. And he didn't have a reason why that meant something, or why he was analyzing that. The way I analyzed it was to say that because the moon goes around the Earth 13 times every time that the Earth goes around the sun, it would be logical to have 13 28-day months, because 28 days is how long it takes the moon to go around the Earth, and that would be in 4 week cycles of the 4, if you look at seasons of the moon around the Earth, you could call it one season would be 7 days, and then there'd be 4 of those, and 28 days. It's how long it takes for the moon to go around the Earth. With little the moon rising and falling and being equal and then extremes every 4 cycles of a week. So then that would make a month would be 7 times 4, 28 days. And then, as it turns out, since there's 52 weeks in a year, each season would have 13 weeks, and 13 times 7 is 91. So there'd be 91 days per season, and that would be every 4 that would be each season would be a 20 let me think here. The 4 would be 28 days of the moon going on the Earth, and that would make let me think here. So let me think. Yeah, every 28 days. Times 28 days, 7 times 13 times yes every trying to get this math right here. If each month, yes, each season would be 13 weeks long, and that would oh, I see something here. I'm beginning to see something. If each season were 13 weeks long, then I can see why they made 12-month years now. I mean, 12-month years, because if there's 13 weeks in a month, then there's 13 divided by 4 months in a season, because there's an unequal 13 isn't divisible by 4. So I do see some logic in the system we actually use, even though, to get, because if 91 days in a season is is 91 days in a season is then 13 weeks. Yeah, would be 13 divided by 4 number of months per season. So they wanted the seasons to be an even number of months. So that's why they made 12 months. So there is a point to my discussing this, because 91 days is not an it's not it's not 13 cycles. Yeah, 13 7. So they made it 12 months per year, so that each season would be 4 even months, and the 13 months per year would make would make 7, 28. See, let me think here. 7. It's 28 days for 28. 7 times 52 weeks. 52 weeks. 52 weeks is. Oh, okay, I get it. Weeks, 13 weeks. Yeah. It makes it perfectly. The moon cycle is correct because every week the moon makes a quarter turn around the Earth. It always has one side facing it because it revolves once. It has one rotation for each revolution, so it always keeps one face toward us. And but the number, but it doesn't have it 28 times 13. So 28 times 13 is 364 days. That means that would be 13 months in a year, and the only thing you'd have to do is have one of the 13 months have 29 days every single year, and another one of the 13 months have a quarter day, have a leap day, an extra year every 4 years. We could call it leap year. But there would be problems with. Let me just sort of figure this math out here. 91 days per season, and 91 is 13 times 7. Oh, okay. 13 times 7 would be 13, 91 days, 13 weeks per season. So you basically would have 13 weeks. Oh, I get it. I'm getting this. So if there's 13 weeks, okay, I get this now. If there's 13 weeks per season, then you would have, it would be, a month. See, 3 months would be 3 months would be 3 times 28. Yeah, 3 times 28 would be 3 months, and instead you have 13. 3 times 28 would be 3 months, and 3 times 28. I'm just going to do the calculation here. Is 64 days, I think, and then you would have to have 3 times 28, 330, 84. Yeah, 84 days would be 3 months, but then you have to have an extra week to make 84 plus 7 is 91. So you have 3 months plus 3 1/4. Okay, there you have it. 3 1/4 months per season, because 3 1/4 months per season would make 3 1/4. 3 1/4 months in one season would be 3 plus a quarter, and then 4 seasons would be 3 times 4 months, plus 1 month, because a quarter of a month would each season would have an extra quarter of a month, which is a week, and that would give you 12 plus a quarter times 4 for 4 seasons, which is 12 plus 1 equals 13 months. So I do apologize that I was suggesting that would be an advantageous way of doing time. Now that I thought about it, and because I did it with you guys, and because I noticed the mistake that was made on the show numbers, that would be a mess, because the seasons give us you know, the astrological signs, and give us a regularity to time that 12 is a better number to use than 13. So I apologize. 13 divided by 4 is 3 1/4, whereas 12 divided by 4 is 3. So who wants to have 3 1/4 months per season? Why not just make it 12 and have 3 months per season, and then 4 seasons makes 3 times 4 is 12 months. Okay, I get it. And then I wanted to say another note I have about that. I remember I had said before that the 12-month year was just cosmetic, basically, that we just had that because it's nice on paper and all that. That my statement, if that statement were correct, that would basically mean that birthdays and astrological signs are meaningless. And I was willing to go there for the math, but you realize that by saying that was meaningless was also making my 666 and my birthday meaningless, which I was willing to do for the math. But it turns out that we do need a 12-month year for regularity of astrological signs. And so my 12666 birthday is validated. It is valid as a thing. It's not just, since we do need 12 months, there is a substance to the fact that my birthday has 666 in it. And not only that, but 666 is mentioned in Revelation 13:18 as the mark of the number of the Antichrist. And 13, the chapter in Revelation, is 1, 6, and 6. And now my year of birth is 1966, which if you take the 9 out is 166, which is 13. And the chapter that it mentions that in the Bible is 18. The verse it mentions that in the Bible is verse 18. And my 6 month and a 12 month and 6 day, 12 and 6 make 18, which is the verse that is mentioned. 6 is mentioned. So there's literally a 13 and an 18 in my birthday, and in Revelation 13:18 says that the number of the beast is 666. And you can even think of the 13 and the 18 a different way. You could say that the 12 month plus the 1 in the year 1966 is 13, and that's the chapter in Revelation. And then you could say that the day of my birth, which is 6, and the year of my birth without the 1 and 9 is 66, and 66 is 18. That's another way of saying 18, which is again the verse 666 as the Antichrist in the Bible. So there's something going on there, maybe. And plus, not only that, but Randy Rose, like I've said, was born 12/6/56, so we're 10 years apart. And Steve Vai was born 6/6/60, which makes us 6 years and 6 months apart, which is half of 13 years, because half of 13 years is 6 years and 6 months. Plus, Steve Vai has 666, and so do I. And Paul Gilbert was born 11/6/66, which means we both have 666, and he was born exactly 1 month before me. He's 11/66, and I'm 12/66. So sorry for the mental mumbo jumbo. I convinced myself we really should have a 12-month kid. And then I wanted to go one step further with this thought. I was even considering that maybe we should have 13 notes in music, and that would make that each semitone, if we had 13 semitones per octave, each semitone would be 2 to the 1/13th power, because 2 to the 1/13th power to the 13th power, which would be 13 of those added up, would make 2, which is the number of the ratio of the octave is 2 to 1. Weird stuff would be there too, but nothing. The 2 to the 12th power is also weird because it's also irrational, just like 2 to the 13th. But if we had 13 notes per octave, that would have its own weirdness, because 13 is a prime number. I think it is. I mean, I always say things are prime when they turn out to be not prime, LOL, but 13 is a prime number. So no interval, there would be no stability within the triads or anything else. So I'm kind of glad that the octave is divided into 12 equal parts and not 13 as well. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.